men's mental health. We are unedited, unfiltered, and as always, we are going raw. My name is Joey.
And I'm Eric, and we're your hosts, and welcome to Raw Minds. Boom, man.
Yeah, buddy, we are doing it once again.
Yeah, but man, 35.
Episode 35. Not many podcasts will tell you that they've even hit past 23.
Yeah, I think that was the number.
I like it.
Yeah,
That's how we roll. And we're going to keep rolling and we're going to keep talking about our shit, showing guys out there, especially that, it's okay to talk, it's okay to feel, and it's okay to fucking ask for help.
especially in this month, man. I mean, like you say, it should be every month, but especially this is Awareness Month, so pushing that harder hopefully catches on.
Well, and that's why we're here, and this is why we do this every week, is because we don't believe in 1 month. We believe in every day,
Yeah,
every week, every day, every month, every year. Mental health is a serious problem, especially nowadays with the social media world and what's going on in the world, man. The world's fucked,
yeah,
and it's getting harder and harder, especially for the younger generation coming up, even, right?
yeah. Ain't that the
So
truth?
it's not like it used to be, man. And it's definitely real, especially in the Western world. And the prices and housing is skyrocketing, and that pressure as a man is building up more and more with all of us.
Yeah,
The prices change, but how society views us doesn't change.
no,
As we're the providers, we're the protectors, we're the ones that gotta take care of shit. But man, it's getting harder and harder for sure, man. That we were trying to keep that role when internally, financially struggling, and it's really weighing on us, and it's taking us down piece by piece. So it's that's why we're doing what we do. It's we've been there, not even just with the traumas and the shit that we've been through personally. It's the day to day that we have to still get through. It's life. Rent comes every month, your mortgage comes every month, your kids need to eat every day just like you. It takes a toll on you, man. So
yeah, man. Every day is a struggle. Just can't give up. You know?
you can't.
No, bro.
People count on you, man. People love you. You gotta do everything you can to be better than you were the day before.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
exactly.
put in the work, and it'll pay off. And your life is not easy, but at least you can make it a little bit better.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Um, I do want to say, uh, we're live on TikTok, so we're gonna be answering things if anybody says anything. Um, so if you hear us kind of break off, wonder who we're talking about or what calls are coming in, it's messages on TikTok. And
yeah,
I just want to say thank you again, brother, for this beautiful journey we've been going on, man. So you know, I just want to say thank you on that.
yeah, buddy. Like Eric said, if you guys are just tuning in on the live, feel free to ask questions, and we'll do our best to answer them. And if you're new to the show, myself and Eric have lived 30 years of trauma, abuse, gang life, suicide attempts, loss of children and family. So we've been through hell and back, and to be sitting here every week to show that it is possible and that you can get through the hard times and the traumas that you guys face. Even if it wasn't your fault and things that happened to you as a child, regardless, it's still your problem. But how do you deal with that going forward? that's only up to you because nobody's coming to save you. So, anyone tuning in, welcome. And also, we would love to reintroduce our guest. He has been on our show in the past. You might recognize him from last week. He was also on episode 13, which is till this day one of our favorites.
Yeah, man.
This guy is amazing human being. You know, like any other guy out there, he's got his own, struggles and battles, and and even his victories. And that's why he's here tonight. That's why we brought him back because he's just an awesome member uh, to have on the show. So we want to thank you again, Anthony, for coming on there, big guy.
Yeah, thank you, Anthony. We're gonna give you a big round of applause. Yeah,
Sick.
buddy. There you
Thanks,
go, man.
boys.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh man, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys bringing me back to do this. I genuinely look forward to this, even if it's short notice, man. Like I get stoked about this because yeah, like
Yeah,
this shit's
man.
important, man. Like it's not.
Yeah.
Some days are good, man. Some days are not fucking good, and if you don't have an arsenal of tools in your back pocket to get through this shit, man, it's fucking hard. You guys have been there. I've been there. I've been lost on my own, not knowing what the fuck to do, and like you guys over my last little while have come in clutch. Like this has been one of my biggest assets and tools that I've used, like aside from what I do in my recovery.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you guys are number one, man. So
Thank
getting to
you,
come
man.
on and kind of give it back is super super awesome for me too. So I appreciate you boys.
Not just that, man. We love having you, man. We like just bullshitting with you.
Yeah,
We appreciate that. So, and you're a
yeah,
straight
for sure.
shooter, man, and that's what we like, and we respect that, right? So,
Right on. Thanks, boys.
yeah, man.
That's why we're here, man. And when we first met you a long time ago, and dude, like you, regardless of your own struggles, like your presence and your energy, buddy, it's you don't find that very often. So we greatly appreciate you being on the show because it actually helps us as well.
Yeah,
Thank you.
man. Definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
When you first came on in the first episode, like I know we mentioned it briefly last week, but man, I had a really hard day that day, like to the point where that was probably the only time since we've done this show that I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
And not because I didn't want to, is because I felt I couldn't.
Yeah.
Like I was head on the table. I had a really hard day. You get laid off, your car stolen, all this shit in the same day.
Yeah.
Wallet, you name it. And it was a hard one.
And
But
fraud.
having yeah, and the fraud,
Yeah.
and having you on and people like you around, man, it definitely lifted me up. And fucking, I forgot having you was made me forget all of that for that hour, and it just turned out to be just exactly what I needed. It was like my therapy.
Yeah.
So
Awesome. Thank
we
you.
we we help you, but sometimes you don't realize that you help people too, right? So
Yeah.
we thank you for that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a
Thank you,
circle, right?
boys. Yeah.
It's a circle. I just want to say to the people new in TikTok here that's joined our live, we'll be chatting back and forth with you guys too. So you guys are part of our podcast this episode. So uh, ask questions and join in. We encourage it. But anyway, sorry.
Yeah,
Just want to
buddy.
put that out to everybody there that's watching right now.
Well, let's dive a little bit into you there, Anthony. I know last time we talked, you had a really, really hard day. You said that you were pretty emotional. You were hard to get out of bed. And after chatting with us and just listening to what you got going on, like what how you feeling today compared to the last time?
For real. Today was like, if I'm being straight up, today was probably worse than last week. I'm not gonna lie. But the thing is like you were saying, Joey, me coming on helped you. You dragging me on last week helped me. Like last week, I just realized that like I have a lot of inner and self work to do. In terms of like learning how to grieve and being okay with myself, and that's kind of what we talked about last week. Today, it was an overall good day. And out of the fucking blue, I'm at work and I get a quote unquote pocket dial from my ex. I haven't spoken to her in 3, 4 months, no form of contact, and I get a pocket dial. I know my number's blocked. I know my number's not saved in her phone. How the fuck did you pocket dial me?
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyways, so that sent me for a fucking loop. And then, yeah, I came home and I knew I was starting back in therapy today. So that was great. Thank fucking God. And I literally just spent an hour just trauma dumping on this woman. And then I had connected with my sponsor. And like in the grand scheme of things, if mentally and emotionally I was where I was last week, there's no way I'd be on here tonight. As a result of coming on here last week, talking to you guys, figuring out some stuff, and doing the things that need to be fucking done to make sure that I'm okay, first and foremost,
Yeah.
that's what got me through today. Like we were talking before, right? Like for one, I started back in therapy, which is huge for me. Definitely
Yeah,
need it.
man.
And then, yeah, like I've been in the gym, I've been meal prepping, I've been taking care of my home for myself and my children. I'm not leaving laundry laying around, I'm not leaving dishes in the sink. I'm just doing the things that need to be done first and foremost. And if I'm done doing my things, then it's time to fucking rest. That's it.
Yeah.
Right. And then, like I was saying
You
before, I
time.
hired a life coach. I hired a life coach, which I'm going to start with him on Friday. It's just, it's time for me, man. That's what it is.
Yeah, good.
Mhm.
I'm proud of you,
Attaboy.
man. You're doing all the right steps. Like this is huge, man. You're taking back
Thanks.
your life,
Yeah.
you
Thank
know?
you.
Like we always say, you're not letting these people live rent free in your head anymore. You need to you're taking that shit back, man. So,
That's right.
Well, it's all about taking that power back in yourself and that energy back, and like you said, you took a lot of big, huge steps in one day.
yeah.
Hmm.
The therapy, the life coach, the you meal prepping, and that's all within a week that we've talked to you. Like
Yeah.
that is massive. Some people take a couple months before they make an appointment to see a counselor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people stay in that victim mentality. Poor me. I feel sorry for myself, and I just want everyone to, you know, tell me nice things and hug me. But what are you doing about it?
Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly,
You're
man.
not doing anything about it. But you already taken that initiative, and fuck, man, we are proud of you as shit.
Thank you. And that's what it
Because
was.
now,
Last week it was Eric saying, "So what are you doing about it?" It's like, well, shit. Like right now, I'm not really doing much. It's like I better start doing something. And I know
Yeah.
it sound like for the people listening, I know it sounds like a lot of big steps, but it's literally as easy as picking up the fucking phone and saying, "I need help." I don't care who it's to. You just
Yeah.
got to pick up the phone. That's where it starts. I didn't do this
Yeah.
all in one day. I know it's a lot has happened in a week, but like I've been in this type of shit before. So I know what to do. It's just a matter of getting up and doing it. It's fucking hard, man. It's
Yeah, man.
super easy to lay in that bed and curl up in a ball and cry and feel bad for yourself. Fuck,
Yeah.
that's my safe place, man. That's where I lived most of my
Yeah.
life. I felt
Yeah.
bad for being a drug addict and an alcoholic. I blamed the world for all my problems, and that was
Mhm.
my safe place. If I bury myself down as deep as far as I can go and curl up in a ball and feel bad, I can blame everybody else and I don't have to look at myself. I did that for a
Yeah,
long
you're
time.
you're hiding. You're hiding
Yeah,
away from
bing,
everything.
that's right.
bingo.
Yeah.
That's right. So
Yeah.
done with that shit, man. But again,
Uh,
it's hard. It's fucking hard. I didn't want to come on the podcast last week because it was poor me. And Joey's the one who's just like, nah, you know what? Just fucking come on. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, what time's it at? Cool. This time? Sweet. I'll be on.
But how did you feel after it?
Oh, great, man. Like that's
Yeah,
like
right?
coming on last week is what set in motion the things that I've accomplished
Exactly.
in a week,
That's awesome, man.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
It's a
That's
snowball
well,
effect.
yeah.
and you got to keep that up, though, right?
Oh
It's
yeah.
the hardest part too is consistency,
Yeah.
Hmm.
right?
Discipline.
Because you have life, you got kids,
Yeah.
you got to work. We all got to work.
Yep.
Is the consistency is why most people fall off. Not saying that you will, but that's the one where no matter what, you make that time and you build that momentum in your mind like a habit.
Hmm.
Right now, you're going back to the gym. If you know you got your kids for a whole week and there's no possible way you go to the gym, keep that momentum and do push-ups in your bedroom for half an hour.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's not about the result, it's the momentum.
Yeah.
Because, like, for example, with COVID, they shut the gyms down
Mm-hmm.
for 3 months or whatever it was. I bought a couple weights. I hate working out in my house, but I had to keep that momentum
Yeah.
because that was one of those tools that I had to keep in my back pocket is to keep feeling better about myself. And back then, at the beginning of COVID, is I was really dealing with a lot of other shit at the time, so I was struggling. And I had, no matter what, even when I had my kids, they went to sleep, I gave 20 minutes on sit-ups, whatever.
Yeah.
And keeping that momentum with your meal prep, and then eventually it becomes a habit like anything else.
Yeah.
And then a month after building that momentum and whatever it is that you're building up, and the gym and whatever else, the therapy is, once you miss it, now you'll start to feel shitty because you didn't do it. Instead of, a lot of people are like, "Ah, well, I don't care, I don't have time," and they don't feel bad about it. They're just making excuses.
Yeah.
But now you're building a momentum so that, well, I didn't go to the gym for 2 days. Now I'm feeling shitty because I didn't go, which pushes you mentally to go back. And that's just that habit that you're creating. So
Yeah.
it's the consistency and staying on top of that no matter what. You can't it and everyone with life especially is the distractions, right?
Yeah.
Their friends want to go out for a beer on Friday, and then this girl wants to go on a date on Tuesday. And people like, yeah, okay, then I skip it, or I don't go do this, and I miss my counseling because I'd rather go sit at the freaking beer garden with my buddies. And then you lose that momentum, because do you know how many times I've had like 2 weeks of just drilling the gym, this, I did fucking CrossFit, yoga, whatever it is that I was doing, and I was just, and then one night out, fuck the whole momentum, and then 3-4 days go by. Now I didn't go to my appointment, I didn't go to the gym, so
Yeah. You know what it
it's
is too?
it,
Is people like to rest on their victories, right? Well, I
Yeah.
accomplished this, so now I can take my foot off the gas. I'm
Yeah.
a fucking champion at doing that. It was like the 75 hard we were talking about. I made it 43 days. Best 43 days of my life. The minute I was done, back to drinking just fucking pop, no water, eating like shit, not going to the gym. It's like you let your foot off the gas, like you're
Snowball,
fucked.
man. It goes that
Yeah.
fast, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, this is your life,
Yeah.
and you got to do what you got to do. And I mean, if you're gonna slack off, it's gonna be a fucking rough ride,
Yeah.
right? And people just need to understand that, you know. But I mean, you can only tell someone to do something so much. It's all about that
Yeah.
person, right? You
Yeah.
know.
It's up to them.
And what it is like, you've accomplished in just this short um time is fucking awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
yeah, but
you
you
know what I
know what,
mean?
and
But I'm just
it
saying,
all
he took charge of like what was going on, you know what I mean? He had that like clarity of like, okay, if I keep on doing this or feeling like this, you know, it's not going to be good. It's going to be shitty. I don't want to live like this. I want to be happy. And that's exactly what. And look, he's look at him. He's good looking, happy, man, you know? He's proud of himself, and that's what he should be, you know? You should pat yourself on the back, man. That's amazing. I'm proud of you, man. I just want to say that again.
Thanks, man.
This is why
well
it's Men's Mental Health Month. You know what I mean? And you're a product of it right now, man. You know.
Thank you.
So you- keep up the good work, man. We're proud of you.
but it all boils down to what's important,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's, if anything that's important in your life, you're going to make an effort no matter how busy you are.
Yep.
You will find the time because it is that important to
yeah,
you. Anything else is a fucking excuse,
Yep.
period.
That's
And
right.
everyone just likes to make excuses for themselves because, it's their fault that I can't do this, or I'm busy because I got to do laundry and I got kids. Well, you have a living room. You can do push-ups if that's what it is. If I'm complaining because I'm overweight, but yet what are you doing about it?
yeah,
Oh, I'm too busy. Then it's not important. So stop complaining, because that's not important in your day to make that change. So when you're dealing with things like what we've all dealt with and what you're dealing with, it's being self-aware, knowing that you're tired of feeling this way,
Mhm.
And you said it earlier, is the biggest key to all of it is taking accountability in your own suffering
Mm-hmm.
and looking at yourself in the mirror and be like, you know what? I'm like this because of me. It wasn't them, it was me.
Yeah.
Yep.
But most people will struggle and won't look at themselves in the mirror to take that accountability. Well, how do you expect to change?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I watch a lot of motivational videos, and David Goggins is a big one,
Mm-hmm.
you
Huge.
know.
Huge.
And one of the things he said, especially for people that are trying to lose weight, well, if you're fat, you have to tell yourself you're fat in order to lose the weight and believe that you are
Yeah.
Yeah.
in order to make that change. But that goes for anything. You have to be honest with yourself. And nobody wants to look at themselves in the mirror and be honest with them and admit that I'm fucked up
Yeah.
or whatever it may be, right?
Yeah.
If you're not
Or I am
willing,
fat.
if you're not willing to make that change, you're obviously okay with the way things are. That's all it
Exactly.
is.
Yeah.
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 And whatever it is that you don't change, you're choosing.
Yep.
So think about that,
Mm-hmm.
right? So whatever it is that you are not changing about yourself, you are choosing to live like that and then just be the way you are.
Well,
I
take
don't know.
But
even me getting back into the gym, man. Like I know the excuses I was telling myself. I have split custody with my kid's mom. We're on a 2-2-3 schedule, so I'll have them Monday, Tuesday. She'll have them Wednesday, Thursday. Then I have them all weekend. I work a job from 7 in the morning till 5-ish at night. Sometimes I work late. I work outside. It's friggin' 40 degrees outside. I'm too tired, and I just got to the point where it's like, no, fuck that. If you really wanted to go to the gym, you would fucking go. Like
Yeah.
you've done it before. If you wanted to go, you go, well, my gym closes at 10 o'clock. It's closed at 8 p.m. on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Cool. I've got a fucking membership for Planet Fitness that's an extra 20 minutes away. So what? I have to drive a little bit further Saturday night because I have my kids and I have someone who can watch them once they're asleep. I can go. It's just if I choose not to, then I'm not going to go. If I'm going to make excuses, then those are my excuses. And I just got to the point where I'm like, fuck that. Like, you can sit here and say you want to go to the gym, but until you actually fucking go, like nothing's gonna happen. So that's where
Yeah.
I've gotten to. It's like, cool. You have your kids Monday and Tuesday. Get your father to just sit upstairs while they're asleep and go from 8 till 10 o'clock because they're open till 10. You know? And if they're not open, cool. Drive the extra 20 minutes, go to Planet Fitness, the next town over
Yeah.
past that
I'm gonna invent like some kind of shock collar for shit like that, where as soon as you start making excuses, it starts shocking you until until you follow through with the actions.
one. Yeah, fuck
There we
yeah.
go.
$1 million idea.
Yeah, buddy. There we go. Um.
yeah, but yeah, it's whatever that's important, man. And especially when, and I'm not talking about weight, I'm talking about your mental state and the dark rooms that we sit in on the day to day and the traumas that we haven't dealt with yet. And the biggest thing is being self-aware of that and knowing, like you, is realizing that you do these things and realizing that you have to look at yourself in order to fix that. And a lot of people just exist and stay in that constant state of depression of just being okay. They're not happy, they're not sad, they're just okay. And then they just coast through life and they don't even live their life
Yeah, it's true, man.
because it's easier for them to just shut it out and go to a job they don't really care about with no real end game and no goals and come home and watch Netflix, you know, instead of looking at themselves, seeking the help to face those demons and tackling that because it's triggers and it's too hard and they don't want to talk about it and then they go and they just rather just shut it out
Bottle it
well
up.
and bottle it
Yeah.
up. And especially as men, we've done it for years and I did it for years.
Yeah.
And it just built up and built up to the point where I almost took my own life because of it, because I just didn't deal with it. And I'm a man and I'm okay. And I'll deal with it. Like I don't need to, I can put on a fake smile and like we talked about last week, even with your children, your wife, or whoever is around you, you're there, but you're not present.
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
You know, then that's the biggest thing is finding that clarity
Yeah.
in so you can go day to day and be present,
Hmm.
right? But in order to do that, you have to work on fixing what's going on inside your head in that poison mind.
What's that saying? You got to get your mind right before you get your grind right.
It's
Yeah,
true.
100% it is, man.
But then you also have to grind to get your mind right
Yeah.
Yeah.
because and like it is fucking hard, just like Anthony said, man.
Fucking
Yeah.
ever,
It
man.
is one of the hardest things you can do is trying to find the light in that dark room when you don't even want to wake up the next day.
Hmm.
You think you feel like it's easier to just let go of the steering wheel of my car driving down the highway.
Well, think of it this, man. You're battling the most biggest end boss there is, and that's yourself. You know what I mean? You're battling your own mindset. So your mind knows your mind, so you're tricking yourself thinking that it's okay. Like you were saying earlier, you did this so now you can celebrate. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's your own battle of your own mind is the hardest battle that you're ever going to have to go through.
I used to listen to this song. It was called Talk to a Friend. I don't know if I talked about this the first time I was on, but in the lyrics it says, I would never talk to a friend the way that I talk to myself. And like that's one thing that I'm trying to work on is like more positive self-talk. Cause like
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys have dealt with it being fathers. Like the
Oh yeah.
things that we say to ourselves in our heads about like being a father. I call it dad guilt. Like I get dad guilt
Yeah.
all the time. I think Joey, I think
Oh
you
yeah.
talked about it last week, wasn't it? And it's like, fuck, I could have done this. I should have done this. I should have spent a little bit more time
Yeah.
with my kids. And it's like getting out of your own way. Like your kids don't know that that's the problem with being a man is like
Yeah.
we suffer in silence.
Yeah.
Nobody understands like how we operate. And I do this daily, man, and
Yeah.
that's one thing I'm trying to work on is that more positive self-talk. Like it's okay to be tired. Let's say one day a week when I get home from work. If it's 30 degrees plus humidity outside and I've got my kids and I come home and I'm just tired and it's craft dinner and cut up vegetables for dinner.
Yeah.
But to sit there and feel bad about that and sit in it isn't going to change anything. Like you have to, for one, cut yourself some fucking slack because it's not like you just weren't home present with your kids all day. You were out
Yeah.
trying to make money to be able to put fucking,
Yeah.
even if it's craft dinner and cut up vegetables in front of them. Like that's
Well,
an
that's it,
accomplishment.
man. You're putting still food on the table. You're still
Yeah,
feeding them at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
that's
And
right.
if that's the capacity you have at that moment, I mean, so what? One day
Yeah,
out, you know what I mean? 2 days, whatever. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
You know?
We're so fucking hard on ourselves as men. I always
Yeah.
have been, and that's like the self awareness that I'm working on, like that shit didn't happen overnight, right? It's taking that little amount of light in the dark room. It's not like you got to walk in that dark room, find the switch, and flick it on and just fucking look at everything. It's like
Yeah.
finding a little bit of light and just start peeling away the layers. Say you're in
Yeah.
the last room and it's all painted black, and you find that one little paint chip hole, and you start picking at that paint chip hole, and it just
Yeah.
over time. Like I didn't want to admit that I treat myself like shit. Like I treat myself worse than anybody else in my life has ever has. Christ, even the girl
Mhm.
that just fucking broke up with me a couple months ago, like I treat myself worse than she does. Like I'm the one putting
Yeah.
myself through this torture, not her.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's working a little bit and a little bit and a little bit until you can be able to stand back and look at the bigger picture of stuff. Like
Yeah.
if like Joey said, like if you're struggling with your weight, if you can stand back and look at it and be like, okay, I'm having a hard time with my weight. That's enough. That's a little bit. Okay, well, now what do you do about it? Are you just going to sit there and tell yourself that you're having a hard time with your weight, or what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Get a gym membership. Don't go to the gym for the first fucking month. Get a gym membership. Cool. Then drive by, pull in the parking lot, then go home, then go back the next day, and eventually you'll make it through that fucking door. As long
Yeah.
as you keep showing up every day to that gym, sooner or later you're going to walk through that fucking door.
Definitely.
we we make all these big
Facts.
plans in our head like this is what I need to change. Tomorrow I need to wake up. I need to get a life coach. I need to fucking meal prep. I need to be a present father, and I have to do all this stuff after working 10 plus hours at my job. No, it doesn't work like that. The fact that I have the ability to make the changes in my life that I've made in a week, that's over years of doing the work so that I have the capacity to be able to wake up and do those things as according as I need to.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't wanna overload yourself if you haven't been putting
Yeah.
in the work in the past, because if you do that, then you're gonna just get overwhelmed, and then you're just gonna be hiding under the blankets again because you don't wanna go anywhere because, you're stressed out, you got anxiety, and it's just like, "Oh my god, I gotta go here, I gotta go there, I gotta go there, I got no time for myself. You know what? Fuck this, I'm gonna stay home this one time." This one time ends up to be every other single time. "I'll go next time, and then I'll go next time." Next thing you
Yeah.
know, you're stuck under your blankets for the whole week, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think when we're really hard on ourselves, especially the men, I think it stems, I think from my experience, from something in your past. And the reason I say that is me, just like you, I am so hard on myself. And people tell me, "Oh, you're doing a great job and you help this person and look what you're up doing. You're a great dad." But then some days I stand in front of the mirror when I'm by myself and I don't feel like I'm doing anything.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's not, to me, it's not enough. But when I look at what I'm doing now, I don't know anybody else that's doing it. And I'm not just talking about this podcast. I'm doing a lot of other things on the side and positive things. But it took years like you to build those tools and to be able to be aware and be able to pull this off and to
Yeah.
work on these things.
Yeah.
But like for me, I was extremely hard on myself. Is like I have two kids with two moms. One is a homeless drug addict for the last 4 years, and to my 14-year-old son, and my daughter who's 7. The first couple of years of her life was a living hell with her mother and her boyfriends and et cetera, et cetera. So they didn't work. She didn't work. Then she's a drug addict. And I took extra weight on my shoulders, overworking myself to try to make up for their downfalls,
Spreading yourself too thin.
Yeah,
And I
man.
spread myself where I drove myself into the ground because, well, mom won't do this, mom won't do that, mom won't do that, and it's just me. So I looked at it like it was just me. And even the nights that I could only give them craft dinner and cut up vegetables, it made me like they were happy. They love craft dinner. They're kids.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But in my mind is I should be giving them mashed potatoes and steak and turkey and
Some
Yeah.
this
Wagyu.
shit and all this because it wasn't good enough to me.
Yeah.
And I struggled hard, and every day, even my family's like, "You need to slow down, because you're way overworking yourself." And like, then this is where I started to learn gratitude, and that's a big one. And you hear it a lot on social media, and then the number one thing is gratitude for the things that you do have.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And if you know that you can get more or feed them bigger dinners, then you just got to put in the work to do that.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, if you look around, my kids were laughing and loving craft. They'll eat craft dinner every fucking
I
night.
know.
Yeah.
Well,
And no
I
problem. I don't even have to ask them like, "What's for dinner?" Craft dinner
I do
done.
have a
Yeah.
But
problem, man.
but
What's with the ketchup though on the craft dinner?
Oh
My daughter
fuck.
loves it. I don't do it,
Drown
man.
it. Yeah.
I don't
it's
I
disgusting.
don't
You
get it.
guys, anyone who puts
Yeah,
ketchup on their
I
craft
can't take
dinners,
it, man.
they should be on the show because you got problems.
Yes.
Yeah.
We
My
will
daughter
have
used
you
to
on.
fucking drink it, like literally drink it when she was like fucking 4.
Oh my god, yeah, I
Yeah.
just too much for me, man.
Mhm.
It just I don't know, for some reason it just makes me just I just like no. No.
But like I'm saying though, is the gratitude, and once you learn to flip your perspective on things and how you look at things, you be amazed at how even the fogginess in your mind starts to change, and the people that start coming around you and the things that happen. Because instead of I used to be because I was struggling so bad, and we all did it with the retail therapy, like I talked about before. We all do it or find different things make ourselves feel better, but it's only temporary. It lasts a day, a two, a week, and then you're back to feeling like shit again.
Mhm.
Yep.
Right. But when you start to flip instead of what I don't have and what I can't do right now to, man, my house is pretty nice. I got nice furniture, just the little things. You'd be surprised. My kids are happy. I see them every week. You know, my car is decent. I got a good job. Whatever it is that you guys got going on in your life is looking at that rather than looking at what you don't have or wishing that you could have.
Yeah.
And if it's something that you wish you could have, well, that's where the effort comes into getting to and getting the things that are important to you. It's effort. Otherwise, you're making excuses. I'll never get that because I only make this much money. Well, now you'll never get it because you just told yourself that.
Yeah. Changing your mindset, man. You know, it's
Changing your perspective
yeah.
on how you look at things and just and like I just said earlier, is the distractions are the biggest thing for a lot of people, right? Well, I'll just go do this, and now I'm in my phone for 2 hours, and then now I'm tired, and now I'll do it tomorrow, and then you never get it, and you never do it.
Well,
And those are the people that are existing because they choose not to put in the effort to get the things that they want and live the life that they want to live.
Mhm.
Except they're so busy living for other people pleasers, and they're doing things they don't really want to do, but it's going to make them happy and it makes them miserable. It's like you just do the things that make you happy, that you find like your purpose and find things that bring joy to your life.
well, you know what? The
But
biggest thing, man, that like a lot of people really don't understand is the more you think about, the problem, the more the problem is just gonna grow and be there. You're feeding that shit. It's like that movie in the book, The Secret. You put out good thoughts, all these affirmations and stuff. Like what's his face wrote that check. We talked about this before. He wrote himself $1 million check and put it on his fridge to himself, and he made that. It's about putting that mental like mindset out there. The more you're gonna say though, poor me, the more you're just gonna fuck your whole shit up, man. It's all
Yep.
about having the mindset of I'm not gonna fail. Like we say, a boxer doesn't go into a ring knowing he's saying I'm gonna get my ass kicked. I'm gonna go and get my ass beat. Because you're gonna go in there. If you say that, your ass is gonna get beat. Boxers go in that ring and they're like, I'm gonna whip that guy's ass. I'm gonna knock his head right off.
Mhm.
It's all about that mentality and the mindset that you bring to the table, right? The more
Mhm.
you talk about the problems, as in like in a bad way, the more you fill your head up with it, and the more you stress over it, the more how it circles in your head and it just plays over and over. It's unhealthy. It's the way we gotta cut that shit out somehow.
well, that's the number one symptom for depression
Yeah,
is rumination because
Mhm.
you obsess over the problem,
100%.
not the solution.
Yeah,
And we all do it. We're
yeah,
human, right? You can have 10 amazing things going on in your life and you have one really bad thing. You're not even thinking about those 10 things.
yeah,
It's all that one bad thing.
Yep.
But
yeah,
we're human, but it's that's where the depression comes in and the sadness and all that because you ruminate on it.
yeah,
That's all you're thinking about. So every day you wake up, that's what your new day is now, more stress and more depression. And what do you think that's going to attract in the energy that you're putting out there?
that's true, man.
Because I'm a huge believer of the energy because if you notice, like when you're in a good place mentally and you're laughing more and you're more present and with your kids and your wife, and then all of a sudden you get good news, and then now you meet these awesome people on your vacation, and then all these positive things starts coming to your life because that's the energy you're bringing out. But if you're sitting there every day, I hate my job and I'm lonely and I'm sad, and then you just sit on that day in and day out, all you're going to attract is sad, lonely people.
Yeah,
And that's why most of the relationships, when you look back in relationship side, have failed, is because you guys were still dealing with shit that you never dealt with, and it ended up ending because of that. And people don't look at it like that because the best version of you will never be good enough for the wrong person,
hmm,
right? So when you become the best version of yourself, even when you go through a rough patch, and because that's life and we're going to deal with shit as we get older, especially, even when you go through those kind of things and you're struggling or you're really down, the right person is still going to be there,
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
right? But until you get to that level, and it's always a work in progress every day, to be that best version of yourself, then that's when you will find the one that they talk about. That's when you'll find the real relationship, the real friends, is because you've worked on and did the work on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's who you're now attracting, is someone else who's done the work on themselves.
Yeah.
The friends that are more positive and uplifting and supportive, not the friends that just want to drink because they're fucked up and they're dealing with their own shit or choose not to deal with their shit. And then you attract this woman who has severe daddy issues and child trauma that she never dealt with, but you attracted that because you got shit that you never dealt with.
Yeah.
My favorite. Fuck.
I
Oh man.
think that's all of us, man. That like we.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to counseling, right? I do it every Wednesdays, and I'm still dealing with shit. Just
But you know
still
what? At
peeling
least you're
layers.
taking this. Yeah, but you're taking the steps.
Yeah,
And
man.
that's where a big part of why we do this is to encourage people to take those
Yeah.
steps. Because there is nothing wrong with saying I fucked up.
Yeah.
Or there's
Or I
nothing
need help.
wrong with saying I need help.
Yeah, man.
I am struggling as a man and I don't know what else to do anymore. Because when you hit that point and you just like, you started to get to that point, Anthony, like you were saying, or you're just like, I'm tired of feeling like this.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm tired of the failed relationships, just like I was. I'm tired of feeling like this. I'm tired of not being present when my family comes over for dinner and my kids want to throw the ball. I want to be there in the moment and enjoy the moment with the people that I love. So we encourage anybody, like it is okay to talk about your problems.
Hmm.
It is okay to admit that there's something wrong and that you need help. And if you don't know where to look, ask. And it's okay to cry. We're human beings. I don't care how big you are. It's fucking, if your body's telling you want to cry because you're sad, it's okay to be sad. It's okay to not be okay.
Yeah. But you know
You know,
what?
when you feel, you heal, right? But we
Mhm.
bury that, especially the men.
Yeah.
Ah, fuck that. I'm not crying over this girl. I'm not doing this, and I'll be
What
fine.
it
And I'm
is.
not want to tell. I don't want to tell my wife that I'm crying by myself every time I go to the bathroom or whatever it is, because you're burying it, you're hiding it, you're pushing it away. But how are you supposed to deal with it? It's the same as like looking at yourself and take accountability. If you don't, you're just pushing the problem away and you're not dealing with it. So you're gonna have the same problem next year and the year after that, and then you're gonna be like, well, why isn't this changing? Because you're not changing.
Well, two things, man. And it's this simple. It really is. It's either you want it or you don't. It's that fucking simple. You know what I mean? You want to get the help or you don't. You if you don't, then you're content and feeling this way until maybe something does click. And it's sad because like we've all like at least our generation have been raised like that. Bottle it up. I remember I was depressed and my dad calls me and he's like, your mom says that you're real down and depressed. Just fucking suck it up. Get over it. That's what he said.
Yep.
That's what he said. Get over it. Like that's how we were raised. You don't have feelings. It was hard. When my daughter, she got mauled by a dog, had 400 stitches in her face when she was 4 years old, and I had to be the tough one. Everybody else was freaking out around. My daughter's screaming. She's like got her face ripped right open. I'm seeing like the inside. It was the hardest thing. Standing there and not being able to help her. Just feel defeated. You can't do anything, right? So I have to play this role of being strong for her, even though inside I'm just dying. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like you. That's your little one. And as a man, we have to do those things. to keep the family together, and it's hard. It's really hard. Like, where's the balance? And then I would go home and, like, by myself, I felt defeated, and I would just cry and pretty much scream in my pillow, man. That my little girl, my princess, her face got ripped off. But I just couldn't show anybody because I had to stay strong for the family, because I mean, my kid's mom at the time, she was just hysterical what happened. And then my daughter, she's got attacked by a dog, and had emergency plastic surgery in her face, had 18 doctors, was insane. And just holding that weight, it's hard being a man, and holding that together. But, like, that's what we do, and it's a struggle, definitely.
And that's why we really promote this, is, with situations like what you had to deal with, and a lot of people have dealt with horrific and traumatic things in their life. We see it every day. Like, it's really heartbreaking to see a lot of these stories, and the murders and the things that happen to these children, and
Yeah.
but if you've had to deal with these kind of things, it's, especially as a man trying to hold it together in these situations, is, man, you can't bottle it up.
No.
You have to release it. You have to get out there and figure out how to add tools to your tool belt to be able to get through the next day,
Yeah.
and and give yourself that little bit of a push. And like Anthony said, man, it took years to get to a certain point to build those tools, to be able to be self-aware and realize, like, I know if I do this, this will happen. I know if I don't do this, I'm going to feel like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
But
Have you
regardless of these,
have you guys ever heard the life is hard, pick your hard? Have you heard that before?
I
yep,
haven't.
Yeah, so life is hard. Being healthy is hard, being unhealthy is hard. Pick your hard.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, I heard that. Yeah.
Being a man is
Yeah.
hard. Bottling up your emotions is hard. Talking about it is hard. What
Yeah.
fucking hard do you want to pick?
Yeah.
Like, it's all hard. Nobody, I don't know
Yeah.
anybody who's, aside from Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, who are absolutely fucking winning at life. You
I
know?
wouldn't say that. I don't know, man. You never even know what's going on behind closed doors
That's
there. You know
true.
what I mean?
That's true. The other
Didn't Jeff
thing is
Bezos'
like,
wife leave him or something like that, and he had to pay, like, all this money? You know what I mean? That's hard.
yeah, but that's like pocket change out of my wallet. Fuck,
Yeah, fair
for
enough.
him.
Yeah.
But the other thing is like, I feel like as men, like there's so much when it comes to opening up and talking about like the type of stuff that you guys talk about here. There's a lot of fear in in talking about it, like you guys say, like breaking the silence and breaking the stigma on what it actually is, because
Mhm.
we've been conditioned to believe that we have to be the tough ones. So what you guys are asking of men is to basically throw everything they think they know aside about being a man and fucking break your walls down. That's
Yeah.
terrifying. It's you're
100%.
stepping into something you don't even know. But I use this line in recovery all the time, and it totally applies here too. None of us three on this screen got to where we are today without starting with one day and just saying, I need help. That we don't know
Yeah.
what that help looks like, but it started with one fucking day of saying, I can't do this anymore. I need help. Is that a fair
Mhm.
statement to say? I don't want to speak for you guys, but I feel
100%,
like
man.
it's a
That's
fair
that's
statement to
how I
say.
got where I am, man. You know what I
One
mean?
fucking day. That's what it
Yeah.
started with,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah, like fear is a big thing. And yeah, like it's not easy, man.
No.
But for me, like, I know you guys have talked about this before, but like my biggest fear was like being perceived as weak, or people thinking that I wasn't a man. Like me going to rehab for my addictions. Like I felt like the biggest piece of shit because I couldn't hold my life together. I couldn't hold the business down. I couldn't hold a relationship with the mother of my kids down. I couldn't hold a relationship with my kids down. I felt like the biggest piece of shit for getting to that level. But I'll tell you right now, that was my biggest achievement. Like it literally was. Because out of
Mhm.
that, I have an amazing relationship with my kids. I have an amazing relationship with the mother of my kids. I still have a good job.
Yeah.
Like I had this fear that, take it like this, for example. I've been on the show a couple times. You guys do this show every week. How many times has someone like reached out to you guys and been like, you guys are fucking losers for doing what you're doing? Has anybody ever done that?
No,
I,
not that I've know of yet. I
I,
hope
I
not.
bet you before you started, there was probably a slight instance of fear of like, this isn't going to go well.
Oh, of
Right.
course. We're wondering like, this is scary to us. I didn't even want but I hate pictures, I hate videos. Like even on the other ones they would say, and I'm out of my comfort zone now. I'm like all over TikTok, my shit's on
Yeah, man.
YouTube, my face is everywhere we're talking, you know what I mean?
Oh, it took months before Eric would even go live on
Yeah,
TikTok.
man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is like
Yeah.
breaking down boundaries, bro.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you, TikTok.
Yeah, man, that's
But
what
yeah,
it's about.
no,
It's like getting outside of that fear. Fear isn't even fucking real. Fear is the idea. It's a scenario that your head plays out that you don't want it to
Yeah.
to go,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And talking about your shit, man, is the most freeing thing that I've ever done.
Yeah. It's gonna
When I,
hurt though, some parts. You have to go
oh
through
yeah,
some of those pain and shit. But then at the
yeah,
end
but
of the day, there's light, right?
yeah, that's right. And you
Yeah.
don't have to talk about that type of stuff on TikTok Live. Like I feel you guys are
Yeah.
extremely open books. I'm an extremely open book. I don't really give a
Yeah.
shit. To
Yeah.
me, the struggles that I face are my biggest tools to help other people. And I know you guys
Yeah,
feel
man.
the same, right?
Yeah.
But if you're scared to talk about your shit, that's what therapists are for. There's dedicated therapists for different types of traumas, like
Yeah.
PTSD therapists, sexual abuse therapy, like child abuse. Like there's people who spent time out of their life to get educated in that line of work so that they are best suited to help you.
Yeah.
Whatever it looks like, there's somebody out there. And if you don't know, reach out to these two guys or fucking Google it, man. Like they're out there.
Yeah. We can help out. We've done it before,
Yeah,
you know?
that's what I'm saying.
So I mean we're even if you want to just bullshit, well, like we're here to
Yeah,
bullshit.
yeah.
That's yeah.
you know, but you got to take that struggle and embrace it,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? Like we talked about last week briefly, is like when the pain that you are going through right now, whether it's heartbreak or and it doesn't feel like it because of how painful it is waking up every day and ruminating on that depression and trauma or whatever it is that's going on in your
Yeah.
life, is that is your biggest opportunity and it is your biggest blessing. And it's hard to really, and you don't see that because you feel like you're going to feel like this forever. And that's where a lot of people get to the point of unaliving themselves, is because they've sat in it for a period of time where they just think it's never going to go away
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and they can't deal with that pain anymore.
Yeah, it's true.
But you got to realize is that all feelings are temporary and you can get through it. There are brighter days on the other end, but you have to embrace the struggle that you are in right now and use that as a passport to elevate yourself into a better version of yourself.
Hell yeah.
Here's a prime example.
Because
That's exactly what you told me last week. And when you told me, my first thought in my mind was, yeah, you say this all the time on the podcast. You've said this to me before. In that moment, it doesn't feel that way. But look at the opportunity that I took within a week as a result of that situation, right?
And
Like,
you know what? Not even that, bro. Like you're doing all these good things, and you're gonna attract good things towards you.
hmm
You know what
hmm
I mean? It's your energy. Like there is energy. It's a true science fact that we have energy. We put out energy. There's energy in everything, right?
yeah,
And you have this good jubes fall all around you. You know what I mean? And like
yeah,
you're gonna suck that shit in, man. And that's the
yeah.
best part. Good things are gonna start coming your way. I've seen it personally with Joey.
hmm
Like I've seen it
well, and
right.
like
He's had like all of a sudden, fuck, all these things are like happening to him in an instant after, like he was like got his shits together. He's on track. and it's just bang, 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 and it was awesome, man. So it comes, man. It's a true thing,
But even in a week from talking to you, I can see a difference in your face.
definitely.
And and that's another thing is when you're in that dark room and you're trying to figure out ways to at least open the door a crack to get some light in. Like you said, you can't just walk in, flip up a switch the next day, and now you see everything. It's a gradual process of that door creeping open slowly and starting to let the light in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But when you're able to, like you said, like you went to a therapy session, you booked a fitness trainer or whatever, life coach, and just by doing that, it is now given yourself something to look forward to
Hmm.
and not sitting on so much of your struggle is right now at the moment.
Yeah.
Right, so now you're refilling your mind with positives, and that's the biggest thing is these little tiny things that we've preached for the last year
Yeah.
is every day is to find those little positives, those little wins, and just running an errand is a positive thing, getting
Yeah.
something done,
Yeah.
Yeah. Getting your
making that a
dishes
point,
done, man. That's been my
make
simple
it.
one.
Yeah, or for me it's laundry. But it's those little things and making that appointment, setting yourself up like you or whoever, if you decided, you know what, I'm gonna make some changes and I'm gonna start with getting healthier fitness wise, and you book 10 sessions with a fitness trainer. Well, now Tuesdays, Thursdays, whatever, you have something to look forward to now.
Yeah.
Now you have a little bit more in your mind that's a positive rather than just dwelling constantly on the shit that you are struggling with,
Yeah.
right? And that's how you build in that slow, gradual process where you're able to open that door wide open, and let that light in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So take those little steps, as hard as it is in the days that you're crying in a corner and you're feeling like shit. Just force yourself to get up, make a phone call, even one phone call, one thing today. Just that one little thing is like, I need to see the doctor. I need to find a counselor. I know I got to lose weight. I'm making an appointment to get a membership tomorrow. I know I got to save a bit more money, and all these little tiny things to add to make you feel better.
Yep.
Because when you are struggling and alone, feeling alone and sad and depressed, that starts to trickle into everything else in your life, right? So if you can keep up on the other things, you eventually start to outrun that sadness and depression because now you're rebuilding yourself, right?
Yep.
So doing those small little things is massive in your recovery on rebuilding yourself.
Hmm.
And a lot of people who sit in it for a year, 2 years, 3 years, never dealt with their shit for 5 years is because they chose not to deal with it. They pushed it down, they ignored it, and then they just filled their life with distractions, temporary band-aids, and now they've just carried it with them, and they could have got through that and dealt with it a lot better if they would have just tackled it sooner.
Well,
But instead,
yeah.
now that's trickled over into their lives, and now it's affected their jobs. Now they're like us, failed relationship after failed relationship, attracting the wrong people and the wrong friends. Then you get like, for me, I was breaking my own heart with some of these relationships and self-sabotaging and struggling and
But it's not just
always
that.
hurt.
It's gonna be a harder time the more that you push down and the more that, you just add pile and pile to it, it's gonna be harder to go through that shit. You know what I mean?
Well,
It's gonna make it more
Anthony
difficult.
Anthony nailed it on the head. He's like, pick your heart.
Yeah.
It's when you
Yeah.
say it out loud like that, you're like, shit. Do I want to feel like this or do I want to feel better?
Yeah.
They're fucking hard. And especially when you're feeling like that. And like for me, I couldn't leave my room for 5 days. Probably one of the worst feel the way I felt in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I chose that day, screamed at myself to get up. I'm like, which one is harder?
Yeah.
I've done that this
Pick
week.
your heart.
I took
Trapped
your
in your
advice
own
on
head,
And
that.
man.
pick your
Yeah.
heart. It's extremely hard and worse to stay feeling the way that I felt and the way that a lot of men feel than to get up, force yourself to the gym, speak to a doctor, seek help, and admit that you have issues that you need to fix.
Yeah.
And that will be one of the hardest things you've ever done as well,
Hmm.
is admitting that you're struggling as a man.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's the fear. I don't want to look weak in front of my wife. I don't want my kids to see me cry. But and then that's not easy. But which heart are you taking?
Yeah.
Because the other heart, that if you stay in that, you are now making not only your life worse and not better, but that hard will now affect and make your children's lives hard. It will make your wife's life hard, your family's life hard. But when you pick the other way, your life will not only get better, but your children's lives will get better. Your relationships will get better.
Yeah. Well, imagine this, man. Imagine you couldn't swim, okay? And you get thrown into the water. You're gonna fucking do everything you can to try to get out of that water, right? Well, take that mentality into your life. You know, the same thing. You're struggling that much to stay alive. You should use that with everything that you do.
Yeah,
You know, that's the drive you need in order to succeed. And it's
that's
the
a pretty
truth.
black and
Is it
white way to
is it,
put it.
it
It is
yeah,
straight up, man.
it's either harder basically gripping on for your life, almost
Yeah.
drowning, f- splashing around, or is it going to be harder to learn to swim and be able to just, you know what I mean, float rather than just always constantly struggling
Mm.
to stay alive. And that's what a lot of guys are doing, is they're drowning
Yeah,
Hmm.
man. You know what I mean? It's true.
every day. Every day we were gasping for breath.
And it's sad because we're watching this, you know what I mean? Like we're seeing people, you know, our friends, like I've lost so many friends, man. You know, they've drowned as you said. You know, and it's sad and like there's nothing you can do. You know, it's like you can help as much as you want, but like I said, you got two choices. Either you want it or you don't. And that at the bottom that's the bottom line. Really when it comes down to it. Are you
Yep.
hungry enough
Be-
to want to fix yourself or not?
Are you sick of your own shit yet?
Yeah.
Like, Joey,
well, and
True,
that's it,
man.
right?
what's that one thing you say, Joey? And I'm probably gonna botch it. The life that you're dreaming of is in the work that you're avoiding. Is that what it is?
Oh, yeah, pretty much. It's all, yeah, the life that you're looking for is in the work that you're avoiding.
Have you ever heard of Manson's law of avoidance?
I heard a little bit.
Yeah, so basically Manson's law of avoidance is when you are avoiding doing something or you're avoiding facing something, that thing has ultimate control over your life.
Mhm.
Because every decision you make, every thought that you think will
Mhm.
be with the premise of not having to face this thing.
Yeah.
So, for example, my ex, she's in recovery. If I was trying to avoid her, I'm not going to my meetings. I'm not talking to people in my meetings because I don't want to hear about her. If
Yeah.
I'm doing everything that I can to avoid her, I'm now doing the one thing that has saved my fucking life, and that's going to meetings and being in
Yeah.
recovery. If I avoided her like that, that's going to put me at risk and it's going to keep me sick.
Not
So
just
it's
that, man. You're not living. You're not living
you're
because now you're leaving around this not seeing this other person. You're
yeah, you think
literally
you're avoiding it.
wasting. Yeah, but you're wasting the most precious thing in this life, and that's time.
Yeah, and
You know
you're
what I
letting it
mean?
control you. You're trying to avoid
Yeah.
it, but what you're ultimately doing is allowing this thing to fucking control you completely.
Yeah, yeah, and then it consumes your head. "Oh, is she over
Hmm.
there? Is over here? I can't go over there." You know what
You
I
know,
mean?
I will relate 100%, because when I went through heartbreak, like I wouldn't even drive through the same city that she lived in,
Yeah.
because I didn't want to see nothing. I didn't want to see pictures. I didn't want to talk to people who might talk to her,
Hmm.
who might tell me something. because you're fucked up. Like you're
Yeah.
hurting. Like
Yeah.
you just make it worse. Like I didn't want to drive through the city and stop at a gas station. It sounds pretty pathetic, but that's where my mind was at
Yeah.
because I knew that if I did run into her, if I heard something, it would kill me. It would break me.
Mm.
Yep.
But there was nothing I could do about it. So I avoided it
Hmm.
as much as possible. But again, just like him and just like you said, Eric, is that we avoid the things that we need to do in our life or that are like for you is the recovery. We're avoiding things that you should be doing,
Hmm.
but you're not doing it because of basically the control that you're allowing somebody else to have over your life.
Yeah. And it doesn't even have to be related to relationships. It's anything. If you're
Everything. Yeah.
avoiding having a hard conversation at work with a boss, you feel like you deserve a raise. Well, you're now allowing that to control your entire life. You're allowing yourself to make more money or less money than you feel you deserve because you're avoiding having that conversation. You're putting yourself in a financially unstable position because you're scared of having that conversation. You're avoiding that conversation. You're robbing yourself of opportunities for improvements at work, um, relationships with your kids. Like it goes for anything,
Everything.
anything in your life.
Yeah.
Ask yourself what
Cleaning
you're
up,
avoiding.
man. Cleaning
Yeah,
your fucking room. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like everything in life.
yep.
You know. Well, I think that's it, man. I I I appreciate you, man. You know, this is amazing. You know, appreciate you coming out here.
Yeah, I appreciate you too,
You know,
boss. More than you
like
know.
I mean, and I appreciate Joey, man. You know, Joey. We talk every day, man. You're one of my closest friends. And I have to say, I'm glad I'm on this journey with you.
No, I got nothing but love for you, Eric, family man, and Anthony, family too, buddy.
Yeah,
And
man.
Talk about gratitude,
you know,
boys. Holy fuck.
Huh?
Honestly, talk about gratitude.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you, man, too.
but just know, just like you, man, you're going through a patch. That's all it is, man.
Hmm.
And you're gonna fill that hole, and you're gonna come out on top. And we got your back, man, no matter what.
Yeah, man.
And you do message me, man, whenever, man, and we'll push you. Well, that's what we're here for, man. No excuses, and you know what you need to do.
That's right.
Now it's up to you and you only to do that.
Yep. I'm
Right?
figuring it
Yeah.
out as I go. I don't know shit,
Because
but I know that I don't know anything. So that's the best place to
and
be.
Buddy, there's no
as
book
I
to
know
this
for
shit. No one wrote a book to
Right.
this shit, even with parenting. You know what I mean?
Yep.
There's like books, but I mean, no one really like this is. I mean, this is life. Anything can happen.
This ain't a one size fits all.
No, not at all.
well, what is it? The end of June, July, August, September. Why don't we would love for you to come back in 3 months,
Cool.
and I want to see. I want your 3 months to be this is your driving force. This is your fucking go time.
Cool.
Put your head down, buddy. Be the dad that you are, fucking, and just fucking grind. You know what I mean?
You
But
betcha.
he's taking a Vancouver trip hopefully soon, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
I looked at flights, man. They're like $400. They're not that bad.
Yeah, man. I told him we'll take him to Longhorns.
Oh, and
Yeah,
Whistler.
buddy, that
Yeah.
was fun.
Yeah.
Joey's
Uh,
birthday was we had a great time up there.
Nice.
but
Yeah,
yeah, no, we appreciate you, man. So, well, obviously, we're gonna still keep in touch. We're gonna talk to you,
For
man,
sure.
and you reach out to us anytime you want. Anybody listening, that's what we're all about, man. If you're having a hard time, you're struggling, you feel alone, you feel like you got nobody, fucking send us an email, rawmindspodcast@gmail.com. Hit us up on my fitness TikTok, the Raw Minds Podcast TikTok. We will answer you, we will phone you, we will direct you if needed, and give opinions and help with whatever you guys need help with. That's what we're here for, right?
yeah. But
If you
don't think that we're gonna you know feel sorry for you. We're gonna help you out. We want you to drive hard. So you want it. You know, at the end of the day, you want to
Let's
want
put it this way: we're not going to tell you what you want to
yeah,
hear. We're going to tell you what you need to
yeah,
hear.
exactly.
Yep.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Period.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Because because we
Yeah,
care, and your real friends and the people that really care about you will be the ones to tell you what you need to hear,
yeah,
regardless if you get mad and you don't want to hear it, and you don't talk to them for a month or two. That's
yeah,
that's the people that truly care,
yeah, man.
because they care because you need to
You
hear
need
them,
to hear the truth.
not what you want to hear. Because if I just told you every time what you want to hear, nothing's going to change.
Yeah,
It's just making you feel better for the day.
You
exactly.
know what my favorite saying is? You want something sugar coated? Go eat a fucking donut.
Yeah, buddy.
That's it.
I like it. I
Facts.
like it.
Facts.
I like that.
But yeah, that being said, man, we thank you all for listening again. We're here every week. We ain't stopping. It's not Men's Mental Health Month, man. It's every day, and that's what we're here. We promote it, and we look forward to having you guys tune in. We drop every Friday on all platforms, and if you're listening on TikTok, like, thank you guys as well for tuning in, and check us out. If you can think of a platform, we're on it.
Everyone,
On that, every one of them, Spotify, iTunes, list goes on.
Google, you name it.
And but Anthony, thank you again. Eric, family. And if you can't find good people, be good people.
Yeah, man. Anthony, wow. Proud of you, man. Honestly,
Thank you,
proud of
boys.
you.
Thank
I
you.
know we talk and stuff, but I mean, still, man, every day, we're proud of you. Killing
Yeah,
it.
I appreciate you, boys. You too.
Yeah. Thank you. On that note, thank you everybody else. Thank you everybody that's listening around the world. We really appreciate all this. It's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, so reach out to your friends. Make sure that they're okay. If you haven't heard from them for a while, just say hey. You never know, someone might be hurting. So just I don't know, do that. Help them out. Anyways, on that note, I'm out of here. Be good or be good at it. Bye.